Gary Brown is a familiar face in local emergency management. He's handled many disasters in Woodbury County, but the flood of 2011 may have been the most unpredictable.
In the early hours, the information flow was horrible, trying to keep track of what the different agencies were saying and how deep the water was going to get.
Brown is the director of Woodbury County Emergency Services and helped the county prep for the inevitable.
Fortunately, it was a slow-rolling disaster. I mean, we didn't have a dam break and all of a sudden flood. We had time to kind of walk into it, which really helped a lot.
With information constantly changing, Brown and his team leaned on experts across the state and region, including the county's Geographic Information Systems team.
That was probably the most beneficial thing we had, was that Geographic Information team out at the Emergency Operations Center that could kind of walk us through where that water was going to go on an hourly basis.
One piece that was unpredictable was how our city's underwater utilities like sewer and water pipes would stand up to the rising and fast-moving waters of the Missouri.
And then we had a whole contingency plan in place. What if one of those pipelines that's transporting petroleum products or whatever under the river ruptures? Now we've got an environmental disaster to go with it.
Thankfully, no major disasters happened, proving the underwater utilities were deep enough to withstand something of this magnitude. The city also invested in pumps to help divert rainwater.
So if we got a heavy rain, which we did a few times, that we were able to pump that water up and over the dike and get it back into the river rather than flooding homes.
With the high water came debris like trees and large branches, and some more unusual items.
I mean, we had campers and motorhomes, and there was a hot tub on a deck that went by, propane tanks, everything that's out in somebody's yard that could floated and came downstream.
What is the craziest thing that you saw from this whole experience?
Probably the guy in the inflatable boat going down the river with a 12-pack of beer.
Probably not what you want to see, right?
No, I mean, it's the stupidest thing I saw, because not only was he putting his life at risk, he was putting the lives at risk of anybody that would try to go out there and help him.
After the water receded, the emergency services team took the time to reflect on the Great Flood of 2011.
We took every email and every decision that was made and the reports that we got on the levels of the river and what was being impacted by each level, and we documented that.
Creating a game plan should Siouxland ever experience another historic flood. In Sioux City, I'm Chief Meteorologist Kat Taylor, Siouxland News.